So, is it time for a wait list? And what does that entail? Well, today let's hop into it. Let's chat about it. My name is Adrian Fuller. I am a speech language pathologist and a private practice owner for the last 13 years, and we've all been there, right? You you decide to start a private practice, then you open your doors or your virtual doors, and all of a sudden you have more patients than you have time. And a lot of times I get this question a lot. New private practice owners, even in the middle of the road, right? You've done it a while and you're like, well, what do I do? How do I work a wait list? How do I do it? So let's hop into it today. All right, let's just hop into it. So, first of all, there's a couple things you need to remember when you're generating a wait list or when you're starting one. First of all, you always need to define full. So, a lot of times, we're like, oh, we feel busy, especially when you're wearing all the hats. So you feel busy and you're like, I'm out of space. What I highly recommend is be very clear about the number of visits that you have right now. And also, if you don't have an administrative time scheduled in your day or in your week, I highly recommend you do that. Scheduling admin tasks in your cancellations is a very quick way to burn out because you're just working, but you may not be growing the way you want to grow. That was a side note there. But what I'm saying is define full. And so full doesn't mean you're working until you pass out. Full means I have space from Monday to Thursdays from 3 to 6. After those are full, I need to start a wait list. That is the biggest thing about a wait list. Sometimes we're like kind of loosey goosey about what full is and what is not. And when you're loosey goosey about what is full, you're just kind of, it's like a hamster and you're just running. So define full. And if you're full, you're full. There are only so many spots, okay? All right. So, if you've defined full and you're still getting people that are wanting your services, here's how you're going to set up your wait list. A couple of things. Number one, you're going to set up some ground rules for your wait list. So, there's a few ways you can do it. I'm going to give you some, but in the end, it's evolving, right? So try something, and if you're like, I don't like that, your clinic, your rules, it's okay to change it. All right. Okay. So is your wait list going to be a running list? I just put your name down and I get your phone number and then I'll call you when I have an opening. You can do it that way. Another way is have people, um, have your families or your clients complete a intake form, and then that will put them on, that's the ticket on the waiting list. And then you'll give them a call when you have an opening. Another one would be very honest and very clear. And you could say, hey, I can do this evaluation, but I have no room for treatment. Things happen all the time. Patients fall off all the time, or things change all the time. It's my estimate that the wait list is running about 1 to 3 months or 6 months, whatever it is. But always if you're doing an eval in the beginning, always let them know, I can't guarantee there'll be a spot immediately, but you would be the first one to get a spot when it's opened. Any of those work, or any iteration of that works, okay? Whatever is best for you and your practice, okay? So that's kind of what the basics of a waiting list are. The thing is, you will need to keep in touch with your wait list pretty regularly, and you need to check it regularly. A lot of times we just make a lot of Google Sheets or a spreadsheet, and then it's like tucked away in the aisle of technology somewhere, right? You want to keep in touch with those people. So that's how a waiting list works. Let me just give you a few things to remember when you have a waiting list. For a long time in my business, I didn't really believe in waiting lists because I'm like, I can get them in. I can get them in. And if we needed something, we'd hire. And I never defined full. So defining full is a big one. Make sure you define full. Make sure you have your ground rules. And then here's some things to remember. You can have a wait list that's 30 people long, but especially in this society where people want things right away, a lot of times that's when you say you have a wait list, that's going to turn some people off. If you have a wait list and believe in it, continue there. But a lot of times I work with a therapist right now and she has a very niche practice and she has a wait list that was like 20 people long, hired someone, but actually when she went back to the wait list, really only 6 to 7 of those people ended up signing up for therapy. So just know, just because you have a waiting list and then you go out and hire, don't think that, oh, that means I have 20 people and 20 people are, usually that's a percentage of that is going to fall off. And that's very normal. Let's normalize that, okay? Another thing is, why don't you consider partnering with other providers? So if you, and it kind of works for marketing both ways. So if you are needing patients, I in the beginning, I partnered or went to established practices and said, hey, I'm Adrienne. Speech Builders is my business. If I don't have a wait list at the moment, so if you have a wait list, could you give them our name or refer them to us, right? Do that with either an established practice or if you know a therapist that's starting their business, or just partner with your community. Hey, I have a waiting list. Are you taking new patients? You could just give them the name. You don't have to walk them through it, but if you have a list of providers that you could refer to, that's always very helpful to a family. Okay. And then again, don't forget to check it regularly. Check your waiting list regularly and communicate with them. So if you want to outsource that to a virtual assistant, or say every Friday at 3 o'clock, I'm going to look at my waiting list and see if there's anyone I can take. Then that kind of systematizes it, and it just doesn't feel like people go on a waiting list and it's like the land of an isolated island, right? So that's pretty much what a waiting list and having a waiting list entails. I hope this was so helpful to you. A waiting list is a great thing. That means people want your services. The thing is, making the waiting list work for you and work for the family so that you guys can meet sooner than later. That's it for now. Until next time. Bye.